Welcome to Jill Cameron Creations. This is my craft room tour. So my craft room is in the basement of my townhome, and I'm gonna talk while I walk through everything with you. First, I'd like to talk about my table. I purchased a 5 foot by 8 foot, I think. This tabletop, it's a piece of melamine, and it was finished on both sides. And I purchased 3 shelving units. The one that is 3 by 3, I have 2 of those. That's my Nina kitty. She stays downstairs with me and crafts a whole lot. And then I have another shelving unit that's under my table that is 2 by 3, and that's what my tabletop is sitting on. So it's a nice, great, big, huge crafting surface that cleans up really easy, and it fits my space. I cut it down a little bit, as you can see on the end down here. It's been cut off. I did cut the end of it off. I cut about 1.5 feet off of it, just to give me some more space to walk around my table. So let's go around the room. Right here is my computer area. I have my Surface and my secondary monitor, where I write my blogs, do all my photo editing, all that kind of stuff. My TV is right above there. See, I'm over here. And I also run a second business for my boyfriend, so I do all the bookkeeping and stuff for that down here. Then I have my photo station, where I take all the pictures of all of my cards that I have created. And I have 4 lights around this little light booth right here, and it's actually kind of sitting upside down, but it works for what I need it for. I need it to be a little bit bigger, so I'm thinking about getting another light box, but I'll work on that later. Ignore the stuff that's back there. My camera, and I have props and stuff for the pictures in the drawers down there. Let's see here. We'll just go around the room. That little stand just has various stuff in it that I actually probably should go through and figure out what to do with them. There's like extra post-it notes and fun foam and some kits and that kind of stuff that's been in there. Some pictures as well. And I keep 2 boxes up here on the top. That one is for gilding flakes from Nuvo, so they don't go absolutely everywhere. And obviously this one is my spray box. As you can see, it gets a lot of love. Next, let's talk about the ink wall. I have all of my ink pads over here. They are in Stampin' Storage shelving, and I have Stampin' Up inks up here at the very top. I don't use them a whole lot anymore. I started out as a Stampin' Up demonstrator, but I just don't use them anymore. Pardon my cat, she's chasing her tail. Then we have Simon Says Stamp ink pads and Altenew ink pads. And on either side of that, I have my Zig Clean Brush markers and my Tombow markers. Then I have some Hero Arts ink and some various pigment inks. And then all of my mini Distress ink pads are down here in their tins. And then I have some full as well as the oxide inks over in a bin. And then on the bottom, I have My Favorite Things ink pads, and I believe that's some Lawn Fawn over there, and then some more mini ink cubes that I don't use very often thrown in there. That's my ink wall. This shelf actually is kind of a catch-all for everything else that I don't use that often. The bottom shelf is various storage things that I've used, discarded, reintegrated, extras of stuff, that kind of thing. The second shelf is punches, and that is a Stampin' Storage punch bin back there, or shelving unit. big punches are in the clear bin on the front. And then I have alpha stickers. Those are a pile of alpha stickers that I have in here that I don't use very often. I tried to get into Project Life at one time, and it just didn't take. Some extra bins, and then in this little box I have my various ink refills. I have extras of bags and that kind of thing. These are actually my color pencils. My grandmother made me some roll-up things for my color pencils, and I have all those in there. Then extras of storage bins and stuff. And at various times I'll pull stuff down and reintegrate it and reuse it and then take it out, and it just depends on what's going on and what I have. So here are all of my dies. They are sorted by company. I'm going to try to stay out of the way of the light. I have MFT dies. I have stencils back there in the very back. These are Stampin' Up! Dies and Spellbinders, as well as Concord and Ninth stuff, Simon Says Stamp, Pretty Pink Posh, Lawn Fawn. All of my dies and everything are over here. I try to keep my Spellbinder stuff in the pockets that they come in because they're really great. For the rest of them, I've tried various pockets. I started buying the Sizzix pockets, like those that have the plastic flap on them, but they're really expensive and really hard to find now, so I just don't bother with that. I found a pocket that I really like on Amazon, and I stick with that one pretty much for organizing all of my stamps and stuff. Some different sizes. I keep various mixed media stuff under here. Extras of things. And my Nuvo drops. I don't have very many. I have all of my embossing powders are in a drawer, just piled up in there. I have some different foam adhesive, spray adhesive things in there. These are all my glitter sprays and glitters. And if I need different boards for anything, like if I'm making a paper flower or something like that, I have those the foam backers to be able to do that, like the mouse pad kind of things. All of my twines and strings and flosses. I have some giant dies in here that I have not used in years and years and years, but they're still here. All of my embossing folders. And this is various mediums, like those are my Pureless watercolors, watercolor pencils, some chalks, some of the liquid watercolor that I've never used. I haven't tried it yet. Then down here on the bottom, I have my trays for sequins and beads and things. I have 2 drawers of that. And then I have one that I set up here. And this one has my clear ones and that kind of thing, and the lighter color ones that I use more. This is wood and eyelets and all kinds of stuff in the drawer. Just all kinds of stuff. Anybody need a button? Have lots of buttons, 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 buttons. And chipboard, and in the bottom drawer, storage. All of my stamps are over here. Get out the light there. I have Stampin' Up! Because they come in cases. These are photopolymer and or cling stamps. I have in their cases, and the racks that they're in are like DVD racks. I cut the foot off of it and hung it up on the board. Hung it up on the wall. All of my stamps are stored by manufacturer, company. So everything's sorted alphabetically by company. The stamp sets themselves are not stored alphabetically. Just the company name. So I have 2 rows of those. And then I also have some wood mount stamps from Stampin' Up! Mostly, that are in the drawers over here, and I have an index of what's over here. Then I have my envelopes, and Nina says she wants to be in the video. Hi, Nina. Hop down, sugar. Hop down. Thank you. So, me sitting at my desk right here, I have my cart that's to my left, and this has all of my Copic markers, distress crayons, scissors. The second shelf has all of my embossing ink in like clear and white powder right there, all of my stamping blocks. I have some embellishments in here as well that are just random things that I can pick up and put on a card real quick. And then all of my glitter and random ink pens. The bottom shelf is, I have a journaling Bible down there, and then my labeling stuff. I also keep all of my Perfect Pearls, and then coffee filters and some Swiffers over there as well. Within my purple jar of water from watercoloring. And I keep various supplies on my turntable. So I have like my eraser, my white erasers and pencil sharpeners and mono sander and silver and gold thread. And there's my resist spray, but also my Perfect Pearls glitter mists, all of my inks, tape and glues, all of my most used tools that I pick up most often right here, including my tool-in-one, my Teflon bone folder, my pencil, a craft knife, my tweezers. These are really, really old. Anybody remember Mrs. Grossman? Those are just ancient, and they've been here forever and ever, and I love them. Alcohol to actually clean up stuff, and stamp cleaners and that kind of thing. Then I have my embossing buddy in a little bowl, and some tiny little spoons to pick up embossing powder. Paint brushes, and various kinds of brushes, rulers, T-ruler, all that kind of stuff. I have a bowl of mixed sequins because it's pretty. And sometimes when you are stumped, just picking up something and running it through my fingers and that kind of thing just really helps me to think about what I want to work on and get some inspiration. I keep a little, it's an older camera, but I keep a little Canon Power Shot right here so I can work with my silhouette, which we'll talk about more in a minute. I keep my stamp platforms. That's the Tim Holtz one, bigger one, and then my Misty is up there as well. Projects that I'm working on, I'll sit on top of those as I'm working on things. Stuff that I reach for all the time, my black inks, my blender tools, post-it notes, some clear sequins and jewels and that kind of thing that I reach for all the time. Having a little thing right in front of me on my desk. Extra blender pads, and then this right here is like my hardboard, my stamp scrubber, a Fiskar stamper, and then stick it adhesive and double-sided adhesives and those kinds of things. My big pencil sharpener, if I'm sitting here working, I can use my big Mama pencil sharpener. And then stuff to clean my stamps with. I use cheap wipes. A whole lot of time, actually. Right here I have a little drawer. It's by Rubbermaid, and it just slides on the desk, so it's not permanent. But I have all of my regular adhesive and snippers and tiny little scissors and stuff in here. But a lot of times I will take my microfiber cloth, I'll spray my stamp on the Misty and with the stamp cleaner, and then wipe it off with my microfiber cloth. My Platinum, I absolutely love my Spellbinders Platinum machine. I wouldn't trade it for the world. The brown thing, this thing. I found it for $4 at the Goodwill, and I think it was a record holder back in the day. I think that's probably what it was. but I use it to store my paper in front of me so I can cut 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch sheets, and ta-da, I have it already. It's all there. My Silhouette Cameo is sitting over here in the corner of my desk. It is wireless, so I am able to sit at my desk and use it and cut everything that I need to for it. It works by Bluetooth. It's a Cameo 3, and I use it quite a bit, actually. All of my paper storage. So I have pattern papers in cubes and in drawers. The other stuff that I have over here is like storage materials, organizational materials, magnetic sheets, and pockets and that kind of thing to store my stamps in. I have specialty papers over here, watercolor paper, marker paper. Sometimes I've tried the Canson water marker paper and that kind of thing for Copics, and it's just not my, I like my Nina Solar White. Cards that I've made, and there's paper flowers down here by the truckload. I have general crafting supplies over here, stuff that I don't use that often, re-inkers for things, buckets of paint, and like Mod Podge and that kind of thing. All of that's in there. This is the paper that's sitting here on top is Gina K Designs cardstock, and this right here is Michael's 110 pound cardstock that I use for card bases. I don't color on it because I'm not a real fan of that. I have this ginormous cabinet right here that I keep all of my cardstock in. This is 80 pound Nina Solar White, 110 pound Nina Solar White, 80 pound Desert Storm Nina, and this is El Cheapo cardstock, and I use it to test stuff, to make backer boards, that kind of thing. Most of my cardstock is Stampin' Up. I still like their cardstock. Comes in a wide variety of colors. And there's all the cardstock that I have, and I have it hanging up in file folders. And this is some MFT cardstock and Paper Tray Ink cardstock and some specialty cardstock in here. And I don't have anything in the bottom yet. So, there is a tour of my craft room. I have pendant lights from Ikea. I have an upside down tripod to hang my camera from. And I store random stuff in my cubes. My printer's under my desk, and I pull it out on its little rolly cart when I need it. So, I hope you've enjoyed this, and if you have any questions, let me know.